Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Got a quick show for you. We're going to be talking about the new additions to LSU signing class. I'm going to give you three names I think could probably surprise a lot of people. We've talked about your Trez Greens, your DJ Pickett, your Harlem Berry, Mansour Delane, you name it, we've covered it. But there's three other people that I think aren't getting their due diligence. Three other names I think could potentially, completely change expectations around them. I feel like the spring is going to be very indicative of this. You're going to see how they react to their new role, their new position, what have you, things that are going to be kind of expected from them in these spots. But yeah, I think I got some surprising people on here that you might not have thought of. We'll give you a little bit of LSU baseball opening day info. They're going to be playing Purdue Fort Wayne this weekend. And Kellen Moore finalized in NOLA. He's back. He was there about 48 hours ago, and then now he's back on a private jet, signing his deal, becoming the official, the 19th head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Drop any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want me to cover in the chat below. We'll get to it throughout the stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. We got a lot of spring practice content coming. Let me go ahead and put this up on your screen one more time just to give you a reminder. March 8th, everything starts. You're going to get more content the 11th, the 12th, the 14th, 15th. Next week, you'll get three more practices, same format. The following week, same days, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then your final week, first week of April, really, the 7th, the 8th, the 10th, and your spring game will be on that first Saturday, I believe. It'll be an interesting moment. You're going to get to really, this is your litmus test, right? This is not the moment where you overreact. And we've learned that last year. This is the moment where you really just see where the new guys are going to be plopped, where the potential, holes are left in LSU's team before they enter that portal window in the spring. And obviously the portal window, you can't really predict it. Sometimes it's unforgiving and, it might just hurt you at the wrong, inopportune time. But in this instance, I think that they've reloaded so much where there's a really good chance you're not affected by really any moves, any departures. There's about one or two that I got in the back of my mind, and we've kind of beat the dead horse on one of them and Caleb Jackson. But I think if he gets a solid enough role and his mindset is in the way that we kind of are hoping it is, and at least it seems like it is, maybe he's ready to try to turn over a new leaf and really get a solid power back role over here. I mean, Caden Durham's going to probably be your lead back, but I think both running backs give you kind of not necessarily the opposite style, but you're going to be able to build off of them. They're going to complement off of each other. Caleb Jackson will be your inside runner who's going to punch people, truck people, make people, have to add 2-3 guys to them. Caden Durham could be your outside backer, your receiving back, your satellite back. He can really do it all. I would love to see Caleb Jackson, hit the ground running and fulfill that potential that we've been waiting for. It could be a name that you could pay attention to this spring, but I think the biggest name, let me start my list off. The number one name I think everyone needs to pay attention to, it doesn't matter who the top wide receiver 3 is. A lot of things can happen. Injuries. There's a variety. I mean, benching. People could just not be playing up to the performance. People could not be in a good fit. They're going to have to move them around. Jelani Watkins is a name you're going to have to watch for that slot wide receiver spot. Obviously, he's one of the fastest players we have. He's winning track awards right now, SEC Freshman of the Week. He's doing the little things he needs to do to get on the field, to get the opportunity, to get his name called. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens as soon as the season. Speedy threat. I really think he could be backup slot because as of right now, it's Aaron Anderson starting in that role. You got Kyle Parker to fill in behind him, and then there's Jelani Watkins. I'm not slighting Kyle Parker because if you flash back to last season, Kyle Parker really had that role until he went down with his injury that sidelined him for the rest of the year. And then boom, Aaron Anderson shows up, and now he's balling. I'd imagine Aaron's going to keep that role. And with Kyle, if he doesn't come back from injury 100%, or if it takes a little bit of acclimation, or if Jelani's just lights out, I could see a leapfrog right there. Would it happen? Who knows? You're going to obviously have to see the spring play out, but I would not be surprised. Even if he doesn't, even if he stays in that third string slot role, it's that next man up mentality. Not only do you potentially have an injury or what have you, but going forward in 2026, you're not even going to have all these guys. You're going to lose Aaron Anderson. You're probably going to lose Chris Hilton. You could lose maybe even a lot more, 2 or 3 of those transfers that you brought in. He's going to provide a lot to this room. He's got versatility. I think, besides the fact that he could be a solid backup, he could be a solid second, third, fourth option if the plan or the scheme isn't going the right way. You need to audible to something else or kind of confuse the defense, spread the love. They're double teaming, taking one person out. Cool. Throw this guy in, throw 17 in. and create some controversy. I feel like Jelani's going to be that little X factor weapon. And it doesn't seem like it right now, but the more you kind of grow and trust him, I think the more he could be implemented into the scheme. Now, is track and field going to be the only reason why he sees the field? No, but it speaks volumes of his work ethic, of his mindset, of his commitment to being a great athlete overall. Not many people in their offseason want to go do a whole new sport, a whole new season, one that's going to keep you constantly in shape, constantly tweaking your running form, and just that cardio is going to be off the charts. I think it's going to pay dividends for him. And I think you could see it show and pay off this season as soon as August. I mean, he could be out there on the field with the damn Clemson lineup, and I really wouldn't be surprised. Let's switch it to defense. Patrick Payton. This could be really the biggest sign of that spot. You had to replace your edge production. You had to replace it. You lost Savion Jones. You lost Braden Swinson. You got three good guys. You got Jack Pyburn. You got Patrick Payton. Then you got Jamari Butler. All three grabs, in my opinion, hits. Patrick Payton's the best of the three, potentially. I mean, yeah, Jack's going to make some noise, and he could potentially get in there. But I think that Patrick Payton could have the best potential of them all. You got a lot of people talking about how, you're going to have to get the effort out of him, and he didn't really give the effort at Florida State. Okay, that's a new scheme, new squad, and they were in turmoil. I'm not trying to give a devil's advocate argument here, but would anybody be in the right mindset or, given the full 100% potential in Florida State when that was going on? I'm not saying it was right or wrong if he did or didn't. I'm just saying it makes sense. Everything was collapsing. There was a lot of stuff going wrong, and I feel like he got out of a bad situation and hopefully put himself in a better one. I feel like Coach Peoples will have a lot of fun with him, and hopefully he's going to be a huge addition. I mean, dude, 6'5", 255 pounds, still really quick. That's the type of, player you need to create some pressure. And when you create pressures, you win championships. Ask the Philadelphia Eagles. They had Patrick Mahomes run around like a chicken with his head cut off. Dude couldn't do anything. The only 2 Super Bowls Patrick Mahomes lost, he's completely off his spot in the pocket, throwing damn near parallel to the ground. We made a mention to it in our Super Bowl preview. That's the only way the Eagles had a shot. That's the only way most teams against an elite quarterback have a shot. If you can create pressure, if you can create some type of containment or just move them around, make them uncomfortable, make them sweat. Don't let them just calmly dice you up. And Patrick Payton's going to be a big piece to that for LSU. He's going to be the guy stepping into that Swinson-esque role. And if you can get that production and unlock the potential like you did with Swinson, good luck. This could be an All-American. This could be a top 2-round pick. It'll be interesting. Also going to make the secondary's life a lot easier. Think about it. If you can get to the quarterback a lot quicker and the quarterback doesn't have as much time to sit there and read, he's going to be throwing a lot shittier passes, and now you can pick him off. Or he cannot digress seconds and seconds and seconds of routes getting readjusted and them kind of meeting his eyes. And if you don't get pressure and the time keeps ticking, it's going to get confusing as a defense. This could be one of your biggest pieces. And while we're on the topic for secondary, I'll go ahead and say my last player, Jakeem Jackson. We've gave a lot of praise to Mansour Delaney, and rightfully so, because he's a great hybrid corner, but I don't think we've given enough praise to Jakeem. So kind of want to talk about him. Think he could be arguably the most surprising corner transfer just because, Mansour Delaney kind of came in with a lot of stock, a lot of noise, a big brand. Everybody knew him already. And he's a great player, but like I said, I want to emphasize, do not forget this name. He provides a lot of depth at the quarterback position, and he's going to be the reason you could move a Mansour. You can move an Ashton Stamps. Prior to this signing, I don't think you were deep enough at the experience level from the cornerback spot to be able to plug and play guys. You might have been stuck with what you got. Now, when you add Jakeem Jackson into the fold, you can move a variety of pieces around because one cornerback position already has an SEC level corner at the ready. They know they have the experience. They know this guy's been out there before. He's adjusted to the speed. He's this, he's that. It might not be the biggest piece of relief in the world for Corey Raymond, but he's got it. The more tools you got, the more pieces you got, the better you're going to be able to be because of it. This is going to allow the defense to play a little more freely, experiment a little more, find what works for them. They're not going to be tied down to one thing. I feel like that's going to be the biggest part to why this DB room had to get so deep. I mean, yeah, they're so talented. Yeah, they've got a lot of names you could choose from. A lot of people with some good experience, the variety of talent and how they're going to be able to use it, I think is going to be the more shocking part here. I'm excited to see. I mean, if you got any others that you think, drop them in the comment section below. It's my short and sweet list for you, but we're open to more names you'll be able to drop. Also, if you want anything specific from spring football practices, drop them in the comments as well. I'll be making a list of that throughout the week. We got our guy Blanche in the chat. What wide receivers are recovering from injury right now? Off the top of my head, I know Destin Hill's coming off something. Kyle Parker looks good. He's not in anything. He's not in any type of, sling or any type of arm, limiter. He looks like he's still working out. I feel like he could be a potential go. It's just one of those things where it was just a hypothetical on if Jelani Watkins could potentially get past him. In terms of other wide receiver injuries, I don't believe there's any others. As far as I know, it should be healthy, but you never know with spring. Only other injury on LSU as a whole that I feel like would be something to be worth noting is the Jordan Gilbert situation. Definitely in a sling. At that safety spot, though, I mean, you wanted to see who else was going to get thrown in that there, so that might not be the end of the world. Let's talk about baseball real quick. Opening weekend starting, like we said at the beginning of the stream, Purdue Fort Wayne. It'll be early afternoon games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think it starts at 1 on Friday, then 2, and then 2:30, something like that. It kind of slides in. Couple games in the box. Southern on Tuesday at 2, and Omaha on Friday at 4. You got a road game in between those at Nichols on Wednesday night at 6:30. That'll be an interesting game. Not gonna lie. Nichols baseball. Shout out Chris Stanfield, though. Got a couple of notes for positions for who you could expect for this, early lineup. Things could be tweaked. Things could be changed. This is a report from the boots on the grounds that we have over there. Chris Stanfield, center fielder potentially, top of the order. They tweaked the swing a little bit. They've added some things. We talked to him preseason. We got to talk to Chris. He's a cool dude. He kind of, entered the transfer portal here and just, he's been feeling it out. One of the coolest things I think about LSU is the amount of resources that they can pair you with. I mean, everybody hears the stories of whether it be Jaden Daniels with the VO or what have you. You come here instantly and you get swing coaches, and then now you're put in a situation where you could hit insurmountably better. You could be in a situation where your draft stock doubles, triples. If you could be a great defender and then now you're creating on offense, now you're batting at the top of the order, now you're one of the more valuable guys in terms of bats, now you got some attention. So shout out Chris Stanfield in a few months. He's already been able to kind of transition his career and be one of the more important pieces, which is not surprising. Another important piece, Monster Milam, probably going to be at shortstop. Jay praised him, called him the best defensive infielder. The thing about Milam is just that he's more comfortable at shortstop. That's what he played in high school. He's never played third base. It'd be a little of a weird transition for him to try to take on. So third base will be Braswell, got more experience there anyway. For your main pitchers, it's in for sure. You got Kate Anderson or Chase Shores that'll probably wind up being one of your aces. That's your sophomores. Be some other names to pay attention to as well. For baseball, though, it's going to be a good little break for some. I mean, you've had a lot to complain about with football. You got sure as hell a lot to complain about with basketball. Maybe with baseball, you get a little lucky. Maybe you get a little postseason success. I think, on the official rankings on LSU's website, they had LSU as number 2. So they're jumping up. College World Series, I think they have the second best odds to make it. They're like plus 150 just to get in there. Could be a good year. Could be a big season. Jay Johnson calls this one of his most talented teams. And, you kind of see it across the board. You see the camaraderie, you see the chemistry, you see the way that they're bonding so quickly. The system's in place. For what he's been able to do as quickly as he's been able to do it, very impressive. And I think you're looking at one of the top baseball programs overall in college baseball, not just team. When you say the top team, I feel team is more temporary. Team is current. Team is right now. This team isn't going to be the same team next year. You're going to lose some pieces, lose some guys, add some guys. But program, I feel like that's your system. That's your coaching staff. That's your resources. That's your recruiting ability, your networking, yada, yada, yada. The program as a whole is in a very good spot. I think that it is only going to keep getting better. It's kind of hard to get worse when you're still second best odds in the damn country. Start Kellen Moore. Boy, I need these odds to get better. Hopefully he's the guy to do it. You never know. The Saints have been in a sticky situation for quite some time, and they think this is going to be the guy that gets them out of it. Like I said, already back in NOLA, won the Super Bowl on Sunday. They private jet him right back. Let's go get that contract signed. Surprised they let him leave without officializing it, right? I'm sure there's a lot of, behind-the-scenes details that go in play into that. But one of the funniest jokes that pretty much every Saints fan can make all weekend long is that you cannot let Kellen Moore leave the city. You got to trap him and get him to sign that head coaching deal. And inevitably they did. What a blessing, though, to be able to host a Super Bowl and have him make the Super Bowl, be on site in location for 7 days. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Feel like that would be, more helpful than hurtful. All the cards kind of fell into place for them. There's still moves left to be made. Let's not keep celebrating. The biggest move left that everybody wants to talk about, the elephant in the room, if you will, Derek Carr. What's the decision going to be with him? Obviously, if he budged and took a pay cut, it'd be a different situation. If he doesn't want a pay cut, then guess what? You're probably going to have to get moved, buddy. The cap situation is atrocious. $51 million over the cap, worse than the NFL. If you take a look at this contract listing, though, Ryan Ramchick, Cam Jordan, and Demario Davis are all in the top 6 paid. Those are guys you could expect to retire. Will they retire? I don't know. It would be hard to replace, especially a guy like Demario Davis. That'd be the toughest one of the 3. But the money that you would save, let's flash back to what the Eagles did. I believe they paid James Bradbury, who was hurt and didn't play in the Super Bowl, but they're big role players, from Zach Bond to even Cooper DeJean. I don't think they were on big deals. I think they're all on rookie deals. And I'm not trying to say that that's the move. That's obviously luck, scouting, and just getting the right guys on the field at the same time. What I'm meaning is you don't got to spend a fortune to be able to get a championship in the NFL. I feel like sometimes dispersing that across a variety of players could do you a better service, especially when you need depth at the quarterback position, like yesterday for the Saints. I don't think you should be spending big dollars on these veteran pieces. I mean, are they worth it? Yes. Do they deserve it? Yeah, I'd say. But like a guy like Taysom Hill, come on, bro. Take a pay cut. Be one for the team. You love New Orleans. You love the city. City loves you, bro. Take some of the M's off of that. $51 million over the cap. You got to figure something out. You don't want to cut those big people, but I feel like everybody's got to come together here. Obviously, everybody wants money, and everybody wants to be compensated for the tough situation that they're in New Orleans. But hey, Drew Brees did it. Tom Brady did it to win a championship. That's one of my biggest gripes with some NFL stars. It's like sometimes it's such a limbo between becoming the highest paid and becoming the greatest of all time. If you're the highest paid, you might not become the greatest of all time. You're getting all the money and you cannot build a team around you. It's not always the case. It makes it a lot more difficult when you're taking home a $50 million cap hit, though. Other needs, I'd say corner. I would say they need O-line as well. Then it's like target triage, because right now that's what they need. What if Cam Jordan does retire? What if DeMario does retire? Now you got a whole new need. Shit, what if Tyrann Mathieu retires? Boom. Add that position to the need list automatically. My overall consensus of this hire, definitely going to work. I love Kellen Moore. I think he's a great hire. He was really creative, and he's got a lot of experience at this level. I mean, he coached with the Chargers, the Cowboys. I feel like it's going to take some time. You're going to have him, kind of get comfortable, obviously draft and develop. He's going to need to get some guys that'll probably replace the older vets that are going to turn out the system. But I think this could be, a good hire. This isn't a hire where I'm laughing and I'm like, oh, the Saints screwed up. This isn't a Mike McCarthy grab. This is a pretty solid hire. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. He got the offense who absolutely obliterated the Chiefs defense. Hopefully he can turn over the Saints. It's going to be tough, though. Don't expect it to happen overnight. You're going to have to be patient. Might take a couple of Mardi Gras to spin around that calendar before you see the Saints back in playoff action. Hopefully it happens sooner, though. Let me go ahead and hop out of here. Appreciate everybody that tuned into the stream. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be going live Friday again. Y'all have a good one.